Okay, great. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the third Housing Repairs online show and share. Before sharing with you what we're going to cover today, just a quick reminder why we do these show and shares. Next slide, please, Kristen. They're an opportunity for us, the core team, to celebrate what we've achieved, demo any work in software, and provide information on progress made. But most importantly, it's an opportunity for you, our collaborators and supporters, to give us feedback and ask any questions that you may have. Next slide. Okay, so what we're going to cover today. So in a moment, I'll remind you of who is in the core team, share our vision before handing over to Scott Walker, who is the customer service team lead at City of Lincoln Council. And Scott is going to give us an update on how the MVP service, which supports tenant repairs, is performing at Lincoln since going live in May. I'll then give a quick recap on progress made in this sprint and our focus for the next. And then I'll hand back to Tina Kristen, Kristen McIntosh, our product owner at Newark and Sherwood, who will tell you how you can engage with the project. And then there'll be an opportunity for you to ask any further questions that you may have. So who is in the core team? As I said, we have Kristen McIntosh, our product owner from Newark and Sherwood, myself, Paul Clemson, lead delivery manager at Maytech, Dave Richardson, who's the ICT and digital service business manager at Newark and Sherwood, Bhavesh Patel, lead engineer Maytech, Sonia Lois, who's a digital systems analyst at Newark and Sherwood, Andrew Dobby, who is also a digital systems analyst at Newark and Sherwood. Then we have Steve Turner, who is a solutions developer at Newark and Sherwood, Mel Crook, who's our user researcher from Maytech, Mesa Canoni, an engineer from Maytech, Mike Knight, our interaction designer from Maytech, and finally, Jamie Jordan, senior engineer at Maytech. So what is our vision? Well, it's to build a reusable and accessible online reporting tool that requires no login, and most importantly, residents prefer to use as it meets their needs. A tool that is integratable with various scheduling systems through open, scalable, and accessible APIs, enabling the tool we hope to be adopted by local authorities across the UK. I'm now going to hand over to Scott.
Good morning, everyone. So yeah, I'm Scott, customer services team leader for housing at City Lincoln Council. So I was hoping to put a different spin on it today and give you some information on how we're using it that might not be straight away obvious. Our system got implemented during a unique time for the service, in that we just come out of COVID, and tenants now are starting to report repairs that they otherwise haven't had done during the lockdown period, either that because we were on full lockdown or they didn't want our tradesmen in the property. So we've had this system's coming at a time we've had a big influx of repairs coming in. The system has helped us in that it allows my CSAs to book in backlog of repairs. So the staff are able to actually adapt tickets that we had outstanding on the system and adapt them to use some of the features within this system, such as the text messaging and stuff like that. So we were having customers call in, we were able to use the text messaging and that aspect of the work to get the repairs booked in. So we've seen a significant reduction in our backlog. Obviously, I've mentioned both reported and non-reported repairs. So it's been a really good help in reducing our backlogs and getting the work booked in. And on top of that as well, the system also accurately books repairs. So the timings on jobs for the maintenance department, which is obviously very important, is accurate. So my staff like that element. The coding, the bit that's built in the background, makes it easier for my call takers to do a data analysis on what the customer's reporting and make sure that we do an accurate reporting of the repair. So really happy with it so far, as you can imagine. There are some other features that we've started to develop, which is not, these are the sort of not so obvious things. So internal usage. We get a lot of reports from housing officers. So they'll be visiting about the rent to a property. But normally when they do those visits, the tenant would say, oh, while you're here, I've got a repair to report. So I'm developing systems with internal clients to say, well, instead of coming through the contact centre to report the tap repair for the tenant while you're doing the visit, you've got a laptop with you, report it online. So that's what I'm kind of working towards now. The scheme managers, so they help with our shelter scheme, helping the elderly and vulnerable. So again, they can use the system. And there's a whole range of others. You think from social care to nurses that visit, care workers. So there's lots of stakeholders that and other areas that report repairs that would really benefit from using this system. So now I'm doing a lot of internal comms to try and build that up, so I can see usage going up, which is brilliant. We're doing a lot of advertisement. We're gonna add it into our phone system. We're currently in the process of procuring a new phone system. But that new phone system is going to have some online elements that we haven't had before in Lincoln. So social media inquiries as well as online inquiries. So that online form can be used to push customers that way. So that's the plan going forward. As you can also see, with the we're also getting a lot of repairs reported outside of the normal working hours. So I've got some statistics here which show that in May, 24% of the repairs that came in were reported outside of the 9 to 5 period, and in June that's up to 31%. Overall, the online repair service has seen an increase of 83% since its implementation. So it's great. Customers are starting to use it. The feedback's been very good. And we will see an overall reduction in call volumes into the contact centre by using this system, alongside the elements I've spoke about before, where we can pivot a customer, but I can tell a customer who's ringing maybe on a smartphone to say, you know, you can report this online next time. So it fits in with the council's channel shift agenda, which is about transitioning customers that usually phone into the call centre to try and use our online features. So we're going to be doing a lot of work over the next few months to pivot customers to try and use the online service. So I expect our figures to actually only increase from here as people become more familiar with the system. So yeah, very happy with it overall. It's working well. Yeah, so I'm open for any questions if anybody's got any for me on the service delivery side.
Does anyone have questions for Scott? No, it looks like you've done a great job there, Scott, and thanks for the update. Oh, Jem, hand up.
Very briefly, have you considered using it with mobile devices? So housing officers or other council staff are, in the field on the estates, actually accessing it via their mobile phones or handhelds?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got housing officers, obviously post-COVID, a lot more tech coming in. So we've got housing officers that have laptops. We have tradesmen that have iPads, smart devices. So yeah, so that's really my focus now, is to say, because we get a lot of inquiries, a load from internal stakeholders that might be visiting about something that completely random, rents, neighbour nuisance, whatever, and they want to report repair. I'm really going to be pushing that, because that should help reduce the call centre's pressure from taking internal repairs, and they can use it. And they can also, of course, publicise it to the tenant. We'll say, look, I can do it on my laptop here. Look, I'll show you. Next time, if you've got access to the internet, you can do it yourself. So that's what I'm heading towards now, and trying to promote that internal usage. So yeah, I think that's going to have a significant impact, and something that maybe hadn't considered prior to its integration, about how I can use it, how it can be used heavily internally. So I see that as a real positive to the system.
Thank you, Jem, for that question. Are there any others from anyone? If not, then I think we can move on. So just a quick recap then on progress made in the current sprint. We investigated the use of Terraform to create infrastructure as code. Subsequently, we're provisioning infrastructure using Terraform. We refined and signed off on prototype V3, which was just focused on the tenant repair, including the ability to change or cancel a repair. We've created prototype version 3A, which is focused on that communal repair journey. And we've planned for the second round of user research testing, which starts this Friday the 8th and concludes on Monday the 11th of July. So our focus for the next sprint is to conduct that second round of user research, and that's focused on the communal repair journey, perform user research analysis and identify any key findings, create prototype V4, which will now combine the tenant and communal repair journeys together and incorporate any design changes that come out of the user research. And now we've commenced planning for the third and final round of user research, which is earmarked for early August, and that will focus on the leasehold repair journey. We'll complete the provision of API infrastructure using Terraform. We'll look to perform a couple of tech spites. Firstly, to deepen our understanding of how we integrate with the Capita housing management system, and secondly, to validate the DRS configuration at Newark and see if there's any similarities to that at the City of Lincoln. And finally, we'll look to apply the Newark website styling to the housing repair service. I'll now hand over to Kristen.
So really, this is a case of do get involved, do get in touch with us and participate. One of the things we really need and benefit from is viewpoints from elsewhere. So if you're thinking of running something similar or just got any feedback or sort of differences in how we're compared to how we're running, or things that you'd like to see addressed, do get in touch with us, because we are looking at how we can develop this for a service that supports actually multiple councils, not just a specific way of working. So we'd love to hear your feedback, love to hear your viewpoints on different service aspects, both on what we're doing and how you'd like to see it progress. You can get in touch with us through the website. We've got a blog online, which we're updating regularly. We've also got contact details there, or please do reach out to us individually. More than happy to help, more than happy to talk about it. And we'd love to get more people involved to progress this and make it even better.
Excellent. So that just leaves really any questions that anyone on the line today has, or any feedback on the update that Scott provided. Do we have anything in the chat? No, it doesn't look like it. So if there's no further questions or feedback, then thanks everyone for joining, and we look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks' time. Thank you. Bye.